Thunder rumbled like the growl of something ancient, and the heavy rain came down in sheets, drumming against the broken roof of the abandoned house at the end of Blackridge Road. For years, no one dared to enter that place. They said it had once belonged to a man named Albert Crane, a recluse who vanished one October night, leaving his house soaked in blood and whispers. But tonight, 6 friends, Jake, Aiden, Nora, Claire, Tyler, and Sam, stood at the rotting gate, laughing nervously to mask their unease. They were here for a dare. But beneath their shaky smiles lay a quiet terror they didn't want to admit. The air smelled of damp rot and iron, thick enough to choke on. The old house loomed in the darkness, its jagged windows like a mouth full of broken teeth. Inside, the house groaned with every gust of wind, as though the walls were breathing. Their flashlights sliced through the darkness, illuminating peeling wallpaper, broken furniture, and long black stains on the wooden floor. No one spoke of the stains, though everyone saw them. Jake forced a laugh, the sound brittle and false. "Come on, guys, it's just a house." But even his own voice trembled as it echoed off the decayed walls. The floor creaked under their weight like an old spine straining to hold itself together. Aiden, the bravest among them, walked ahead toward the staircase. The railing was splintered, the wood slick with something damp. His fingers came away stained dark, and when he lifted them to the weak beam of his flashlight, he saw it, red, fresh, wet. A strange silence hung in the air, thicker than the darkness itself. No birds, no wind, no sound beyond their breaths. Nora swallowed hard, clutching Claire's arm. "This place doesn't feel right," she whispered. Claire nodded without answering. She didn't want to look weak, but her heart was beating too fast, like it wanted to escape her chest. Then came the sound, a soft dragging noise from upstairs, slow and deliberate, like something heavy being pulled across the floor. Everyone froze. Their flashlights flickered. "Probably a raccoon," Tyler muttered, but even he didn't believe it. They climbed the staircase one by one, the steps moaning beneath their feet. The dragging stopped the moment they reached the landing. A faint smell of rot and something foul, like decayed meat left too long in the sun, filled their noses. The hallway stretched before them, lined with doors half open, revealing only darkness. Nora thought she saw movement at the far end, a shadow slipping into one of the rooms. But when she blinked, it was gone. "Did anyone else see that?" she whispered, but no one answered. They were all seeing things now, their imaginations turning the shadows into monsters. Or maybe the shadows were turning themselves into something else. Tyler opened the first door on the left. It creaked open slowly, revealing a child's bedroom. Walls covered in cracked, faded blue paint, a small bed overturned in the corner. And on the wall, drawn in a reddish-brown substance, was a crude message. "Stay in the dark. It can't see you." Sam backed away immediately. "We should go," he hissed. "Right now." But Jake, trying to be the hero, shook his head. "It's just some messed up graffiti. Someone's trying to freak us out." His voice echoed again. This time, the echo came back deeper, twisted, like a voice repeating him from inside the walls. They kept walking down the hallway, every step heavier than the last. Then the lights went out. All at once. Their flashlights died in their hands, as though something had snuffed them out like candles. The darkness was absolute, pressing in on them like a living thing. Nora whimpered. Aiden cursed under his breath. Then, footsteps, not theirs. Something was walking among them in the dark. A scraping sound followed, metal against wood, growing closer and closer. "Who's there?" Claire screamed, but no voice answered, only breathing, slow, wet, right behind them. Tyler fumbled for his lighter. A tiny flame flickered to life, casting a dim orange glow around them. For a second, everything was still. Then they saw it. A figure crouched at the far end of the hallway, twisted in an impossible shape, its limbs too long, its head tilted to one side like a broken doll. Its face, or what should have been a face, was smooth and pale, as if someone had stretched skin over bone without eyes or a mouth. But it was smiling, not with lips, but with something inside their heads. The smile was felt, not seen. The flame went out, and the screaming began. They scattered. Nora and Claire bolted down one hallway, Jake and Aiden another, while Tyler and Sam ran toward the stairs. But the house didn't stay the same anymore. Doors led to places that shouldn't exist. Hallways stretched too far. Stairs looped back to where they began. The house was alive, breathing, twisting, trapping. Nora and Claire slammed into a wall that hadn't been there moments before. From behind them came a scraping sound again. Claire turned, sobbing. "Nora," she whispered. "It's coming." Nora pressed her hand against the wall, searching for a way out, but the plaster felt like skin, warm and pulsating. A crack of bone. A scream. Something grabbed Claire and yanked her into the darkness. Her nails scratched the floor, leaving streaks as she vanished. Her voice cut off mid-scream. Nora fell to her knees, shaking, tears streaming down her face. She didn't even see the shadow that rose behind her until it whispered in her ear, "Stay in the dark." Meanwhile, Tyler and Sam stumbled into the kitchen. The old fridge door hung open, rusted hinges creaking. A faint hum filled the air. Tyler opened a cupboard and gagged. Inside were small bones, dozens of them, arranged in neat, perfect stacks. Sam's breath came fast and shallow. "This isn't real," he whispered. Then a hand, cold and boneless, slid out from behind the fridge and gripped his ankle. He screamed, kicking, but the thing pulled him under, into a darkness that swallowed sound itself. Tyler ran, not looking back. He didn't notice the blood pooling behind him. Jake and Aiden made it to what looked like a basement door. The air coming from below was colder, heavier. "We can hide down there," Aiden said, but Jake hesitated. Something about that darkness was different. It wasn't empty. It was watching. But Aiden didn't care. He needed to get away from whatever was upstairs. They went down. The steps groaned, and as they reached the bottom, the door above slammed shut. The basement smelled of rot, mold, and old blood. On the walls, dozens of photographs were nailed, faces of people who had gone missing over the years. Each face had its eyes scratched out. In the center of the room stood a chair. Straps hung from its arms, and something sat in the shadows behind it. Jake stepped closer, flashlight weak, but still alive. What he saw made his stomach lurch. It was Albert Crane, or what was left of him. A shriveled corpse, its jaw split open far too wide, a black void where its eyes should have been. Yet somehow, it moved. It turned its head toward Jake, bones cracking like breaking branches. "Welcome home," it rasped, in a voice that wasn't its own. Jake screamed. Aiden ran for the stairs, but the door was gone. Just a wall now. The house had sealed them in. Upstairs, Tyler stumbled toward the front door, lungs burning. He grabbed the handle, but it twisted like a snake beneath his palm. A whisper filled the room, 1,000 whispers. "Stay." The floorboards cracked beneath his feet, and something cold coiled around his ankle. He was dragged backward into the black. One by one, their screams filled the house and faded into silence. The rain kept falling outside. The house at the end of Blackridge Road stood quiet again, its windows empty, its halls hungry. And if you walked by on a stormy night, you might hear them, the footsteps, the whispers, the dragging sound. It waits for new visitors. It always does.